The twin moons of Arcanus hung low over the violet horizon as the desert winds roared across the dunes. Their pale glow reflected off the silver armor of the Zalari warriors standing in a perfect circle. In the center of that circle stood the legendary Blade of Vehlara, an ancient sword embedded deep into a slab of obsidian rock. According to their sacred texts, only one worthy of the eternal bond could pull it free. For thousands of years, no Zalari had ever succeeded. Tonight would be no different, or so they believed. General Serena Valcora, commander of the Zalari Ascendant Guard, stood tall with her wings folded behind her. Her eyes shimmered like molten gold as she addressed the crowd. "The trial of worth begins," she declared, voice echoing across the canyon. "Let those who believe themselves chosen step forward." 3 Zalari warriors tried. 3 failed. Each one tugged with all their enhanced strength, strength enough to crush metal. But the ancient sword didn't move an inch. Serena's patience wore thin. "This is pointless," she muttered. "The sword mocks us with its silence." Cough came from the back. A human cough. Everyone turned. A lone human stepped forward, carrying nothing but a dusty satchel and wearing a worn exploration suit, patched in dozens of places. His brown hair was windswept, his face sunburned, and his expression casual, almost bored. His name was Elias Ward, a wandering explorer who'd been captured earlier that day after stumbling into Zalari territory. He was supposed to sit quietly during the sacred ceremony while they decided whether to exile him or execute him. Instead, Elias pointed at the sword. "So, mind if I give it a try?" Silence dropped over the canyon. Several warriors gasped. One fainted. Serena blinked as if he had spoken nonsense. "You," she scoffed, "you are human. Your species can barely lift your own body weight, much less the Blade of Vehlara." Elias shrugged. "Doesn't hurt to try." "It will hurt," Serena replied sharply. "When the sword rejects you?" But the crowd murmured with curiosity. A few shouted that the trial allowed any being to attempt it. Serena frowned. "Very well, human. Try and fail swiftly, so we may move on." Elias walked toward the obsidian slab, brushing sand from his sleeves. He approached the sword with the casual confidence of someone picking up a tool he'd forgotten in his garage. Meanwhile, Serena folded her arms, waiting for the humiliation she thought inevitable. "Careful," she teased. "Don't strain something." Elias grinned. "I'll do my best." He wrapped his hands around the ancient hilt. The metal felt warm, strangely warm, like it recognized him. A hum vibrated beneath, his palms high above. The moons grew brighter, their light converging into a beam that illuminated the sword. The ground trembled. The air thickened. The Zalari gasped, their wings fluttering as the energy in the air shifted. "What is this?" Serena whispered. Elias didn't hear them. His heartbeat synced with the sword's hum, each pulse stronger than the last. The hilt tightened around his fingers, not in resistance, but in acceptance. The sword was waking Elias pulled, not hard, not with strain or sweat. He simply lifted, like lifting a feather. The Blade of Vehlara slid out of the stone, as if the stone had been waiting for him. A shockwave exploded outward. Sand spiraled into the sky. Lightning twisted between the moons. The obsidian slab cracked into 9 perfect pieces. Elias held the sword as its silver surface blazed with light, runes glowing like molten stars. The canyon went silent. No one moved. No one breathed. Serena's mouth fell open, eyes wide with disbelief. You pulled it," she whispered. Elias inspected the sword casually. "Huh, not bad. Bit heavier than I expected." Serena looked ready to faint or attack him. She wasn't sure which. "This is impossible," she hissed, stepping closer. "Humans cannot wield Zalari relics. They lack the biological resonance. They lack the heritage. They lack everything." "Hey," Elias said, pretending to look offended. "We have some good qualities. Name one." "I make great pancakes." Unsure how to react, Serena marched right up to him, staring at the sword in his hand as if the universe had broken its own rules. "Give me that," she demanded. I don't think it works like she grabbed the hilt. Instantly. A shock of energy blasted her backward 10 meters, sending her skidding across the sand. The crowd gasped and ran toward her. Elias walked up sheepishly. "You okay?" She sat up slowly, hair disheveled, pride shattered, dignity leaking out like water from a cracked jug. "You," she growled, pointing at him, "are an anomaly." "Thanks." She stood again, dusting sand off her armor. "This changes everything. The prophecy, the bond, the chosen one. Perhaps the texts were mistranslated." A Zelari scholar cleared his throat. "Actually, General, the ancient script did say one not born of wing or star shall lift the blade. We assumed it was metaphorical." "You assumed wrong," Serenia muttered. Elias scratched his head. "So, what does this mean for me?" Serenia stared at him for several seconds before answering. Her expression was unreadable. "It means human. You belong to us now." Elias blinked. "Sorry, what?" She raised a hand sharply. "Do not misinterpret. You are not our prisoner. You are our—" The crowd leaned in. Serenia winced, clearly hating the words she was about to say, "our champion."
Ow.
The Zelari erupted into cheers, wings flaring, voices echoing through the canyon. Many bowed before him. Others chanted his name, though they pronounced it wrong, Lahash the Mighty. Elias felt his ears turn red. I'm not exactly champion material." "That sword disagrees," Serenia said. "The Blade of Vehlara accepts only one with a pure heart, strong will, and a destiny intertwined with our future." Elias groaned. "Oh great, destiny, just what I needed." But Serenia's tone softened, her usual authority melting into something almost respectful. "You have proven yourself worthy human. I mocked you. I doubted you. I was wrong." Elias smiled. "Wow, that sounded like a compliment." Serenia looked horrified. "Do not get used to it." The celebration continued as warriors gathered around the glowing sword, studying its runes and arguing over what the prophecy now meant. Elias, still holding it, felt its energy settle like it had chosen a home after centuries of waiting. Then Serenia stepped beside him. "I must ask," she said quietly. "How did you do it?" Elias shrugged. "Honestly, no idea. It felt like it wanted to be free." "Wanted?" she repeated, tasting the word. Her gaze softened slightly. "Almost curious. Humans," she muttered, shaking her head. "Strange creatures. Weak, clumsy, irrational, and yet somehow charming?" Elias guessed. "I was going to say infuriating," she corrected. He grinned. "You're welcome." A rumble echoed through the canyon. The ground vibrated beneath them. The energy around the sword flared against stronger, wilder. Serenia's expression darkened. "It's calling something." "Calling what?" She drew her spear. "Something ancient. Something dangerous. Something we sealed away long ago." Before Elias could panic, a massive shadow rose from beneath the sands. A creature of obsidian armor and burning red eyes emerged, roaring loud enough to shake the moons themselves. The Zelari warriors scrambled into formation. Serenia stepped forward to shield Elias. "That sword awakened the Guardian," she said. "It recognizes the wielder, and now wants to test you." Elias gulped. "Test me? Like, fight that?" "You are the chosen champion," Serenia said. "This is your trial." Elias stared at the towering monster, its claws the size of entire trees. "This," muttered, "is why I should have stayed home today." Serenia smirked. "Do not fear." "You pulled the sword. Maybe you can pull some courage next." Elias lifted the glowing blade as the Guardian roared and lunged. The sword pulsed. His heartbeat synced with it again, filling him with energy strength he never knew he had. He dodged the creature's first strike, the blade cutting through its armor like paper. The Zelari gasped as Elias moved with impossible agility. Serenia watched in awe. He wasn't just fighting. He was dancing with destiny. With each strike, the Guardian weakened. Finally, Elias leaped higher than any human should and drove the blade into the creature's core. Light erupted. The Guardian dissolved into stardust. Silence again. The Zelari fell to one knee. Saranya bowed her head briefly. When she rose, her expression had changed completely. No mockery. No superiority. Only respect. Elias Ward, she said solemnly, you are truly worthy. He lowered the sword. So, does that mean you'll stop making fun of me? She smiled. A small smile. A rare smile. A smile no Zalari had ever seen survive this long. Not a chance, she said. But I will mock you respectfully, Elias laughed. Fair enough. And as the moons shone down on the unlikely champion and the warrior who once mocked him, a new legend began to form, one that would echo across worlds. The human who pulled the sword, and the alien who never forgot the moment it happened,